Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz, and I'm going to be going over the UFC Fight Night card headlined by Nicolau versus Perez. I'm going to be giving you guys my picks, starting with the early predictions on the prelims, all the way up to the main cards. I'm going to spot my best dogs on there. Then I'm going to end it up and give you guys my locker room parlay to get paid. All right, UFC is back. They gave us a week off. Now we're back. But we needed it. Why? Because, man, we just came off of UFC 300, one of the most entertaining fights that we had out there, with the Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje knockout coming in the 1 second left in the fight. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, man? Max Holloway was up the whole fight as an underdog, goes into the middle of the ring and says, "Meet me right here." They stand in there and trade blows with 1 second left. It's kind of like that buzzer shot from Jamal Murray against the Lakers in the playoff over Anthony Davis. 1 second left. Cool. Knocks him out cold. That's why we love this sport at MMA, man. So let's go ahead and, get everything going for this week. But hey, last week we did good on our predictions. We went 10-3, I think. Man, I lost big with my boy Jalen Turner, though, man. Who would have thought, man? He had the guy knocked out in the first round, knocked down. He turns his back and walks off and celebrates. Thinks the fight's over. Nah, it's not. Machado gets back up, takes him down, and later on in the second round, takes him down and wins by ground and pound. That's crazy, man. Like, you had the fight won, and then you ended up getting knocked out by technical knockout, ground and pound. Not submitted by Machado, but knocked out. That's the fight game, man. Who would have thought? Alex Pereira knocks out Jamal Hill straight like that, just like that. I mean, it was one punch. He literally said, hey, he called off the ref. He got poked in the eye. He was like, hey, ref, cool, I got it. Held up his hands. Bam. Man, who would have thought? Hopefully you guys made some money out there, and if not, hey, at least we got to see some of the best fights that we're probably going to see all year on the card. Now, this week, we're going to go ahead and start it off with the first fight on the card, okay? It's going to be on the prelims. Gabriel Benitez, 23 wins, 11 losses, going to be taking on Machado, 9-3. All right, so look, Machado's a -2-1 favorite in here. Gabriel Benitez, he's been taking some time off, and then he came back to the UFC. Got his feet under him a little bit, but it's one of those things to where I think his time's done, man. Machado, it looks like he can put you guys out later on as the fight goes. Benitez, though, I do got to give him his credit, man. This is how he can pass to victory. All right, spam those leg kicks. Spam those leg kicks. That's about it, man. Last fight out, getting choked out by Jim Miller, not a good look for you. Went over Charlie on Taveros. Nothing you can learn from that in the Gabriel Benitez fight. Before that, though, man, back-to-back losses. In this spot, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I like Machado in this spot. I played him earlier on in the week. Got him at a better line. But he's a -2-1 favorite in here. I think he should be able to get this one done in here. I'm going to go ahead and say third rounder decision, because Gabriel Benitez is tough and is hard to finish. All right, next fight taking on Ivana Petravic, 6 wins, 1 losses, taking on Li Ning, 19 wins, 7 losses. All right, Ivana Petravic is the biggest favorite on the card, I think. -500 on there, 525. Man, tell you guys like this. Save your money. Don't bet any of that. This is what you want to do in here. You bet the under. You bet under 1.5 rounds, okay? Point blank period. Li Ning is a first-round fighter that goes out there and puts it all out there. By that second round, she's not lasting past the 2-minute mark in there. What is her record? I want to say she's 0-3 in the UFC or 0-4. She's an explosive fighter, though. She does pack power in there. Petravic, she's a wrestler. She wants to get you down to the ground. If this stays on the feet, Li Ning can knock her out. And that'd be a plus money underdog you can cash on. Stay away from this fight. Save your money. Take the under if you guys want to bet this fight. But Petravic should be able to get this one done. But there's no way, folks, in this economy, in this community, you guys should be laying -500 on a fighter like this. Next fight taking place. This one's going to be a banger, man. This one just got put together on short notice. James Leon top, 14 wins, 2 losses, taking on Chris Taco Padilla, 13 wins, 6 losses. Man, James Leon top done had like 2 different opponents on this card, and they all pulled out and canceled. They got a fight with Gabe Green and then somebody else on it, and they both pulled out, but they kept him on the card, man. They gave him Chris Padilla. Don't know the lines out there, but I want to say James Liontop should be a -2-1 favorite on here. Fight just got thrown together literally in the last 2 days. Let's talk about the 2 fighters, though. James Liontop, man, it seems like not just this fight, even before it, man, fight after fight's been getting pulled and getting canceled. Made his debut on the Dana White Contender Series. Since then, he's been looking for a fight for the UFC. Chris Padilla, I know a little bit about him, man. Seen him fighting on the local regional scene out here last year in January for a promotion called UNF. He was able to get the TKO win in there. He's a veteran on the local scene. Has a nice little push the pace type of style. He's explosive out there. He's going for the finish out there. I think he paid his dues, and I think he deserves to be in the UFC. He's taking this fight on short notice. He might struggle with the weight cut, but man, when it comes down to it, they're going to be pushing this guy, James Liontop. He should be able to get the job done. But I'm telling you guys right now, man, I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if Taco go ahead and gets this win out here, man. He reminds me of another guy fighting on the card who can surprise some people, who did surprise some people when he got his shot from the regional scene. Now he's fighting on the UFC card too. But yeah, I seen Chris Taco fight, man, on UNF. He fought on the Curtis Millender card out there. My boy was headlining it. And then I seen a couple of fights after that, and he comes out there with like a Jason mask and stuff. Like he has a nice little aura about him, man. So I think the UFC got a good one in this one, man. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the dog is out the cage in this one. But taking it on short notice, without the camp and everything in preparation, it's going to be hard for him to get the win. All right, let's keep it going, man. Next fight on the card, another women's fight. We got Caitlin Souza, 13 wins, 4 losses, taking on Marik, man, 6 wins, 2 losses. All right, Caitlin Souza, last fight out, she was fighting Korean Silva, and she got submitted vicious. I mean, I forgot what it was. I think it was a knee or something. Got pulled out bad. Let's get down to the opening lines now. She opened up at a -220 all the way up to a -300 on here. Marik, man, she made her debut on the UFC Contender Series. She's just been on the bad end of fights. What I mean bad end of fights is, for one, she's not that good. And for two, it seems like they're using her as like a stepping stool, in the UFC. But let's just give her props, though. She is tough out there. If she's able to get this fight going to the later rounds and get the wrestling going, she can maybe turn some heads in here, But the pick is Caitlin Souza. Ain't going to spend too much time on that. I think she gets it done. All right, next fight on the card. Caio Machado takes on Don'Tale Mayes. All right, man. Caio Machado. Don'Tale Mayes opened up a favorite. Now, he's the underdog in there. Why? Because money's coming in on Caio Machado, man. All right, let's talk about it. Now, Caio Machado's a -120 favorite over Don'Tale Mayes. Don'Tale Mayes, 10-6 in the UFC. Caio Machado made his UFC debut on against the Contender Series on McParkin. Looked okay in one round, but then, wasn't able to keep the pace going on all throughout the fight. But Don'Tale Mayes is one fighter that I despise, folks, that I cannot bet on, and I don't think is UFC worthy at all. Let's talk about it real quick. I mean, this guy has got wins over fighters who's not in the UFC no more, but I give him his credit and his due. His losses are to good fighters who's a lot of people will lose to. But when he's in that cage, man, it looks like he don't want to be there at sometimes. His striking is average. His wrestling is average. His cardio is not good. He averages like 3 strikes per minute. I'm not a fan of Don'Tale Mayes at all, man. On the other side, Caio Machado, don't know too much about him. I'm going to just tell you like this, though. I auto bet him right when he came out on my book at -115. The one fight that I did see, that was enough I needed to know about him, man. I'm just not a fan of Dontel Mays at all. I'm seeing some people making claims for him in this fight. I think Kyle Machado's value is going to be too much for him. He averages about 6 strikes per minute so far. Southpaw out there, 6'4". You know, he's going to be the smaller guy in here. You know, Dontel Mays will have that jab, will try to keep that range and distance and win on the outside. But I think Kyle Machado is going to keep this, a dirtier fight, use the clinch, and use the elbows. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Machado could get the knockdown and get the win inside the distance. But if not, I even can see him winning by the decision. With that being said, I see 2 different paths to victory for Kyle Machado to win in here. Not just being biased either on it. A -120, I hopped in. I think Kyle Machado gets it done in here. All right, Dontel Mays, that's your chance, man. If you surprise me in this one, I wouldn't even be surprised, man, because you got some work to do out there if you want me to look in your direction and start putting money on you, because I can't trust nothing that I've seen from Dontel Mays in the UFC. I can't say I could trust on Machado either. You know, one fight in the UFC, but me, I just have a thing to where it's a few fighters that I bet against. And it's been profitable, and, it's not even, I'm not going to stop now. And Dontel Mays is one of them. Sorry, sir. I'm going against you just off that. All right. Next fight on the card. We got a good one, all right. Michael Figlock, 8-1, taking on Austin Herbert, 16 wins, 7 losses. Michael Figlock's making 160 on the books. Coming from the Cage Warriors promotion, made his UFC debut, wasn't able to get it done. I forget who he lost to. Faris Ziam? Yeah, I think it was Faris Ziam in there by decision. Austin Herbert, though, coming off of a short fight, well, not a short fight, but coming off of his last fight against Nicolau, in a fight to where he was actually looking good in the first round, but then he got finished, man. Austin Herbert, when it comes down to it, he got his shot already in the UFC. Now he's getting his chance again once he was on the UFC Ultimate Fighter show. Got close enough to get the contract, and then what happened? They got him back in the fight game now. So did he even win? See, that's how bad the Ultimate Fighter is. The people who win nowadays, you don't even know if they won or who won. Back in the days, it was entertaining. You had Nate Diaz on it. So now, man, it's not the same at all. But let's get down to it, man. I like Michael Figlock in this spot. Seen him fighting on the Cage Warriors promotion. Usually a guy that goes to the decision out there. Austin Herbert, he's going to give you a good round. He's going to look like he's there. But all throughout the 15 minutes, he cannot put on a good game plan. Michael Figlock is that. Consistent with the game plan. He's not going to go out there and wow you, but he's going to go out there and put together a game plan to win. At a -160, I can see him getting up to a -185. I think the pick's going to be Figlock. He should win by decision if you guys want to cut down that price tag and get a better payment on it. Next fight on the card. Hey, but before we do that, smash that like button out there. Let me know who you guys are betting on today. Let me know, man. What was the best fight you guys saw in that UFC 300 card? It started off with bangers. Figgy versus Cody. I mean, the Bobby Green fight versus Jim Miller. That was awesome. I mean, we just had some good fights on there. And, hey, everybody should start drinking this, man. Cambodia is good for you. By the way, I just need a drink. Sorry. Oh, boy. Healthy Cambodia. All right, let's go ahead and get it going. Next fight, bantamweight. Victor Henry comes in. 23 wins, 6 losses, taking on Ronnie Yaya. 28 wins, 11 losses, 1 draw. Let's get down to the gambling odds. Victor Henry's a -500 favorite, folks. Ronnie Yaya is a +375. Let's talk about their history in the UFC real quick. Victor Henry surprised everybody. Came out as a big underdog and won against Ronnie Barcelos in the fight that I had him in. Why? Because I knew about him. He came out the local scene out here. One of my guys that I used to train with was his Muay Thai coach, training with him out here a couple of years ago with Josh Barnett and stuff like that. Traveled with him. He was a local regional scene fighter. Was traveling across Japan and stuff like that, fighting, getting good wins. Got some notable wins like Kyler Phillips under his belt. Came in the UFC. What is he? 1-2 or 2-1? I think he's 2-1. He was able to get the job done as a big underdog. Then he came out as a big favorite against the Sun Tzu, and he lost. And then I think he bounced back with the win over who? I forget. I think it was Tony Gavic. Somebody. All right, he's 2-1 in the UFC. He's a fighter that loves to strike, and his striking volume is there. I mean, he's averaging about 8 strikes per minute in the UFC. That's how he's gonna win this fight. Keep it on the feet. Hey. Don't get taken down. Rani Yaya, jiu-jitsu specialist, black belt. Everybody knows that. He's trying to do one thing. Stick to your body like glue. Get you down to the ground and submit you. Relentless with those takedowns, attempts, for about 7 minutes. But then he slows down in that third round in here. I think Victor Henry can get it done in the third round or decision. The pick's going to be Victor Henry to win third round or decision. This is not your solid parlay piece that I think that a 500 should be, because Rani Yaya is dangerous, folks, dangerous. So stay away from that one. If you're parlaying it, find another way to get money and get paid. Next fight taking place, Urso Medic, 9-2, taking on 10 Means. Urso Medic's up to a -330 favorite on here. Stepping up in this weight class now in the welterweight division. Seems like he's getting his calling now, okay? 10 Means, it looks like he has 1 foot in out the door, 1 foot in his training gym and coach, and you know that's what he's trying to do right now. Hey, as he should, man. He already paid his dues in the UFC, the Dirty Bird. Let's talk about it though. Urso Medic in this fight, I think he has a path to victory in there. I think he can finish him. He usually finishes his opponents with like flashy knockouts and stuff. This could be a way to where I think he could definitely get it done in here. 10 Means, I was never really betting on him and backing them. I've been always betting against them, and it's been so profitable. Max Griffin, Kevin Holland, a few others and stuff. But I think he did surprise some people in his last fight out against Fiallo. He was able to get that one done, I think. Urso Medic at a -300, to me, it's a better solid parlay piece than anybody on this card that was a -500. Okay? Yeah. So I'll leave it to you like that, man. If you're thinking about parlaying that person that's 500, I would go Urso Medic over this one. Yeah, because those other ones are not, that number's not warranted. This number, I think it should be -220. So you know, I should -220, but the pick is Urso Medic. I think he does. I think he wins by a phenomenal knockout too as well. All right, a phenomenal knockout as well. All right, man, let's get through it, man. Next fight on the card, we got a good one, a banger. Jonathan Perez, 14 wins, 5 losses, taking on David Onama, 11 wins, 2 losses. Styles make fights, and oh, wow, what the styles we got on these two fighters. If you guys want an explosive striker, explosive fighter, somebody that's going to be out there pushing the pace and fight for your money, that's David Onama. 11-2, all right, 2 of those losses, Mason Jones and Nate Landwehr. In those fights, they were dog fights, man. The Nate Landwehr fight is one of the best fights ever. I was at that event live. He was laying it on him. I mean, they were going back and forth in the first round. He must have hit him on like 12, 13 shots. And then Nate Landwehr gets up, turns it around on him. They're going back and forth all throughout the fight. It's one of the best fights ever out there. Go Google it now and watch it. David Onama versus Nate Landwehr. I literally still have the footage on my phone, man. I'll never forget it, man. James Krause was in his corner yelling to him, "Do you want me to stop the fight?" Because it was at a time to where he was in the corner looking like he didn't have it. He didn't tell him to stop it. You know, he said, "No, I got it." Like, he's not going to quit. That's David Onama. He had his chance right there to tell his coach away or something like, yeah, do something. And he didn't. I was right there live. And, yeah, Jonathan Perez, though. Styles make fights. Aggressive grappler, going for wrestling takedowns, attempts. He can do it every way. Chain wrestling. He can go for single leg locks. He can go for single legs. And not just that. He has the cardio to push the pace all throughout the fight. Opened up a -170 in there. He's a guy that I usually bet all the time. Matter of fact, he's a guy that I bet all the time. Can't say usually. I'm saying usually because I'm a little bit hesitant yet, and I haven't pulled the trigger all the way in this one. Why? His last fight out against Joe Anderson Brito, he was dominating the fight. What'd he do? Start getting a little bit of cockiness in him, and what happened, man? He got subbed in the fight, man, when he was already up and skating through the fight. And here, I think his path to victory is going to be using the wrestling and the takedowns. But David Onama, he he can stuff a few takedowns, but he's not going to be able to do it all throughout the fight. But on the feet, man, he's so dangerous. And Jonathan Perez, I think his difficulty is facing strikers, and he hasn't faced one explosive like this, folks. That's why I got to take my bias out of this. I usually always bet Jonathan Perez, close my eyes and take my money. But I know what I saw in David Onama, and I know what he can do. Man. All right. My pick is Jonathan Perez because I think this is a fight that he can still win. But I'm going to tell you guys like this. If you guys are looking for a live underdog out there and somebody that can win by that way, man, David Onama can win by that way. But I got to go back to my boy, Jonathan Perez. Why? Because I've been making money with him, I think, at least 4 or 5 times. I lost money with him once in a fight that he was still up and dominating. This is my get back spot. Jonathan Perez, you owe me my money. Can you give it back to me on this fight? I think you can. Let's go ahead and get it done. Training over there at Fight Ready Gym too. One of the better gyms out there in Arizona. I actually think he should be able to get this one done. He got the good coaches in his corner too with Santino DeFranco. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it done. Let's get my money back. Go ahead. Jonathan Perez wins by decision. It's the pick in that one. Next fight on the card, man. Austin Lane taking on Jonathan Denz. Austin Lane, 12-4, former NFL player, man. He used to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, defensive end, linebacker. Only played for about 2 or 3 years. Jonathan Denz made his UFC debut on the Contender Series. Wasn't that impressed in there, but he's 6-0. Let's get down to it. Austin Lane, when he goes out there to fight, he goes to fight. I give it to him. He's a football player that stopped his career, started doing podcasts, still in Jacksonville and football stuff, but then got into MMA, started doing some training, went on the Contender Series, lost to Greg Hardy, did some more training, came back on the Contender Series or somewhere, and now he's in the UFC. Okay. But he's a fighter that just stands there like this, with his chin just like this, and I know that's what he's going to do. If he was a fighter going like this, be a different story. I know he's going to do this. With that being said, the pick is Denz. I think he wins by KO in here. Yeah, he's like a -260 favorite on there. I think he wins. Next fight on the card. The best fight on the card. Let's go, man. Women's flyweight, Karine Silva, 17 wins, 4 losses, taking on Ariana Lipsky, 17 wins, 8 losses. Let's talk about it. Karine Silva goes by the name of Killer, because that's what she is. 17 wins, 100% finish rate. I mean, 9 wins by KO and 8 by sub, or vice versa, whatever it is. All 17 of her fights that she won, she finishes her opponents. All different ways. Jiu-jitsu is her specialty, but she can knock you out on the feet too. Man, when we talk about somebody who has that it factor, finish ability, it's her, Karine Silva. Hear me out. She opened up as an underdog, +115. Now she's up to a favorite at a -150. I got to get in on the line at a -115 in here, okay? Her path to victory is just go in the cage. She can do it all type of ways out here. I got to give her props because she's one of the girls out there. Out of her 3 fights in the UFC, she always has a fight bonus for best finish of the night for 50K. I think she can get that 50K bonus in here. Ariana Lipsky, though, she's been turning the table. 3-0 in her last couple of fights. She got the win in Casey O'Neill as an underdog. She's been cashing as an underdog. Before that fight with Casey O'Neill, I cashed with her 2 times as an underdog, okay? She's been turning around. She goes out there to strike. I got to give her credit, her props. She's turning around her career. But turning around ain't going to get it done in here. Give me Karine Silva in here. Inside the distance all day. Money line -115. When it comes to this, I think she has multiple paths to victory, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and predict it too. She's either going to... she ain't waiting to the second round. She's winning in the first round. She got stuff to get done, okay, after this, all right? Hey, and if you guys want more information on Karine Silva, check out my interview with her on YouTube. Just Google it. MMA Locker Room interviews Karine Silva. I got a nice interview out there. She only speaks Portuguese. I had a translator translate for us and everything. So I think she gets this one done, folks. Next fight on the card, co-main event. Ryan Spann, 21 wins, 9 losses, taking on Bogdan Goskovic, 15 wins, 3 losses. Ryan Spann, minus 2-1 favor on here. Bogdan looked good in his last fight out. He was able to get the win by TKO fashion. I forget who it was. The guy, not impressed with, though. Oh, man. But Bogdan has that one punch power capability. Ryan Spann, he can get knocked out. I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I'm not betting Ryan Spann at all. You can't trust him with your money in here. I think, man, both these guys can get knocked out and they're not trustworthy. I think under 1.5 is the best bet. But I'm going to go with the dog in this one, man. Give me Bogdan, man. I've seen Ryan Spann drop the ball too many times, and I think he could get dropped in this fight. Next fight in the card. Matthias Nicolau taking on Alex Perez. Matthias Nicolau is a minus 180 favorite. He was supposed to be taking on Manel Kape. Alex Perez had to step up because Manel Kape got injured or couldn't make weight again. Who knows? Who cares? That guy's, man, he done got shot after shot. Matthew Nicolau, he's a guy that likes to counter a lot. Orthodox fighter, you know, mixing the takedowns every now and then. Alex Perez just came back to the UFC after a 1.5 year layoff. Got the loss to Muhammad Machado in here. I think Nicolau gets it done. Nothing more to say on here. Not a fight I'm too much interested in. All right, my best bet on the card. I'm going to be going with Kareem Silva to win inside the distance. That's my best bet on the card. And then my parlay that I like, I'm going to take Urso Medic. And I'm going to go ahead and parlay that with, let's see, who else do we like? I'll parlay that. Dang. This card is a little bit, man. It's not with Machado. And yeah. And we'll get, I don't know what the odds is right now. I'll type it in the chat for you guys. But Urso Medic and Machado will be my best two-leg parlay. My single pick, Michael Figlock, to go ahead and get it done at a minus 160 in there. And like I said, hey, let's go ahead and get it. Kareem Silva wins inside the distance. Kareem Silva money line. All right, let me know what you guys are betting on. Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz. Hey, UFC bet with me.